Hey guys, what's good? Welcome to Order of Opinion. I'm your host Tim. This is my co-host Anthony.
What's good, guys?
For those of you returning or just tuning in, we are going over our ranking of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe from the shittiest to the greatest. Order of Opinion. Number 7, Captain America, the First Avenger, number 1. And that I put as a 7.2.
Okay.
I
gave it a 7.4.
Okay, I could see that. And I think, generally I think the idea here is that it's better than Iron Man 1. But
I think I want to hear what you're going to say, actually.
Oh, I said it's better than Iron Man 1, but is it better than Iron Man 2?
In your opinion?
In my opinion.
I think it's better than Iron Man by the obvious smidget I have in the score.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that, unlike Iron Man, I don't really feel like Captain America did anything wrong.
I totally would agree with you on that. Now, not everything's done right, but there are definitely a lot of neutral things in it going on.
That you just accept. It's not that big of a deal, but it's not
like the first
necessarily
scene,
outstanding.
The first scene where how Bucky knows he's there at the theater.
God. That's not the first scene.
Oh,
is
well,
it?
Yeah, it's damn near.
It's one of the first ones.
One of the first ones. I guess
And I guess Captain America can't throw a punch either. He's not physically possible to throw a punch. He's got to get hit 4 times before he can throw one.
Sometimes I think you like getting punched.
This little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That was weird. Floating head syndrome on that.
Yeah, that was terrible. Also, a product of being one of the earlier Marvel movies. If they did it in 2015, it'd probably look a lot better.
Supposedly.
They did it in Winter Soldier, so I don't know if that was a cutout of First Avenger or...
Supposedly, though, that wasn't a CGI'd body. That was actually a body
another guy's
model.
body.
Yeah. And that dude,
it still looks stupid.
That dude ended up being a bartender in one of the scenes.
And him as... this is what I'll say, mainly about Cap, which is, he's the greatest portrayal ever. Okay, let's just get that out.
Hands down, if there's...
I'm the biggest fanboy of Chris Evans and his portrayal of Captain America because every day it makes me want to wake up, sniff good old American air, and put on good old Captain America to make my goals that I'm not accomplishing feel a lot better.
And he has that way of making you feel good.
Yep.
He
and
does.
I'm not a very righteous man, but Cap makes me want to be more noble than I'm doing right now, because I'll tell you this, especially when he becomes Captain America, it's a whole other character in my opinion, because Steve Rogers, all the Steve Rogers shit, convenience and boring. Like the Doctor being there to hear Bucky and Cap's conversation. Okay, whatever. What's another convenient plot? Oh, that particular doctor is even in that hospital that he goes to.
Yeah,
right?
That is hugely convenient. And that they would go on this date to the World's Fair that the Doctor happens to be at.
Right.
That might be more convenient.
I liked Howard Stark though. Solid.
Howard Stark's great. And then I thought the Doctor wasn't bad. I like how he
was okay.
offers him the drink and is like, "What the? You can't drink."
Yeah.
He just takes it from him to be a jerk, essentially. I liked
Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh my god.
Necessary for the movie in terms of comedy relief.
And Cap provides a little bit of his own comedy relief, but he doesn't provide that sort of like sarcastic version of it. And so without an Iron Man type figure, they need a sarcastic character.
True.
And Tommy Lee Jones fit that perfectly.
He's sort of his also Men in Black character also.
Yeah, he is. He plays his Men in Black character. He's essentially to a degree, he's Cap's mentor. He's the only.
Really?
He's the person who trained him. He's the only person that really.
Yeah. Which was boring as shit.
The training scene,
I did like the flagpole scene.
Yeah, the flagpole scene, and then there was another one where he jumps on the grenade.
You like that?
Well, it proves that he's already like Captain America.
Yeah.
He's just not strong.
Yeah, but he's still skinny.
He's still skinny. He's not that guy. What does he say? He's like, I want that guy.
And there was also a cop-out with the serum by just saying it improves everything in you. It improves everything. And that's why if you're a bad guy already, it makes you a bad guy.
I don't know that that's a cop-out, though, because that's sort of like what the point of the whole serum is.
Yeah.
That's like, that is the point of it. And that's sort of like, or maybe that's just the unfortunate side effect of it. Like, maybe that's why they couldn't make a bunch of super soldiers, like, already, is because they have to literally hunt down a dude that could use it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you see... granted, for the time period, 40-something...
Why couldn't they do a montage for the Steve Rogers scenes?
Montage of his parents dying.
Yeah, montage of him, like, being only 60 pounds and...
Yeah, a little weak piece of shit. Montage of just, like, all of his medical history flashing on the screen. That's how he's, like, sucks.
Yeah. And I also like how they show how in the 40s girls liked big, burly men, and nowadays a guy like Cap might be able to get a bunch of girls being a skinny weirdo as long as he wears some capri pants and freaking one of those fedoras, bro. Yeah. So I think that when the scene, especially when I feel like the movie starts turning into being boring as shit into really good, is when obviously he turns into Cap.
Yeah.
And then the action scene where the spy, which is super convenient, what he had to do. I mean, the shit that he would have had to pull off was crazy.
He literally just had to shoot that one guy to kill him to make it so that...
No, he took the last serum, which supposedly they only leave one after, or he thinks that's the only one, takes the serum, has to shoot the doctor, right? Escape with the getaway guy by a dude you just made into a super soldier. Like, he's not going to go after you. Dip off with that, with the super serum, drive to that area while not being followed, hopefully, in his eyes, after he just murdered somebody.
Yeah.
And hop into this Hydra submarine, and he's gone. Like, holy shit. What he had to go through was crazy. But that whole scene was really good because his Cap using his powers at first, right? I really like that part where he runs hella fast.
Oh, and dude, that was
flies
great.
Into the shop.
Yeah.
I mean, that was great. And
him jumping on the cars.
Using
the shield,
and let's speak on this. People are really getting fucking shot.
Yeah.
I mean, she puts one in someone's fucking head. They're shooting an old lady.
The old lady.
Like, people are getting shot.
Yeah, and think about it too, like that whole scene. That spy didn't even try to shoot anybody else. He just tried to shoot
the doctor.
So that they couldn't make the
serum again. Yeah.
Too convenient.
But at the same time, I sort of like the setting. I sort of like how they balanced.
Who doesn't like a good World War II movie?
Yeah, but the way they balanced it being a comic book movie, integrating the Hydra technology without making it look out of place, and staying to that theme of the 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, for what they had to do, and Chris Evans probably took a giant gamble with this on his career. For what they had to do, I mean, Cap could have been the shittiest movie ever.
I think the Chris Evans quote is that it could either go bad and he's fucked, or it could either go well and he's fucked. So basically, he knew the implications of it going either way. Like, he has to be Captain America now.
Yeah. Well, I think he was forced in being a Captain America, because we're going to touch on, I know we both like this, is when he becomes actually Captain America. He wants to help fight. And Tommy Lee Jones tells him, nah, you're an experiment. You're still whack to me.
Yeah.
So then he gets recruited by I believe it's the people funding.
It's like war bonds.
Yeah, and he gets exploited to get people to buy war bonds, which is, I mean, that's beyond ingenious what they did with Cap, and showed a complexity to an otherwise one-dimensional character, right?
I know, and I like that he was willing. He's so willing to just get the job done that he bothers to become a better actor.
Yeah.
Like, it has nothing to do with fighting, but to him it's like the mission. So
I mean, look at look at the way he acts in his fighting.
He's
the way he throws the shield, like the emotion for it. You buy it, dude. I buy every fucking thing that dude does.
Well, he probably practiced throwing that shield for a minute.
They said, I watched the thing on FX one time, and they said that like he decided how the shield was being thrown.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Usually they, have a choreographer come in and play that. And I feel like Cap sort of does that. Like, I feel like he might ad-lib a lot. Ad-lib. He might ad-lib a lot. He might definitely, like, with the position. I think that's just supernatural to Chris Evans. Just the best. He's just the best.
And how did you... He really is, dude. Like, we can talk about Captain America for like 3 hours, but how do you feel about Red Skull? Because I thought...
Oh, we haven't even touched on Red Skull yet.
Now, one of the 7 Lord of the Rings characters that act in Marvel, that guy, he should have came on with hella long hair in the unibrow. That should have been dope. But he was good. He was good.
He was
the actor.
solid.
But, and even Red Skull's...
Armand Zola, his lackey.
The actor.
The lackey.
The Zola, yeah. His motivations were good because he was never really about, like, Hitler or the Nazis. He was about using their funding to get what he really wants, which was controlling the Tesseract and, like, weaponizing it. He wanted to take over as, like, Hydra, and they did it scientifically and through technology, not through like hundreds of soldiers trying to murder. He did have hundreds of soldiers. They showed it.
Imagine how fucked up you have to be to make a nuclear bomb that has to be piloted by someone.
Right.
Like, what an asshole.
Out of all the technology they had, that's what he had to do.
That's what he did. They could have dropped the bomb, but no, he wanted to make it flown by someone.
And all the scenes with him, he was pissed. Like, he was always like, this is what I liked about him a lot. He was, like, pissed, but when shit went down, he was like, all right, that's my decision. I'm going to do it. Like, it wasn't like, what the fuck? He wasn't mad or nothing. He was just always like, oh, our soldiers are outmatched. Now I'm going to blow us all up. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, he does that. He really tries to, like, just look. And it's funny, too. He just looks at it. He's like, dude, let's just blow it up, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's all good, bro. And and I like that they show him having this like slow breach into insanity.
Yeah.
Because even if you look at it at the end, Captain America, he doesn't kill him. He doesn't win against him.
They fought and he like punched his shield.
Yeah, but
which will bring us to this next act.
Schmidt kills himself.
Yeah, with the Tesseract.
His own greed kills
himself. The fight
himself.
was boring. The Red Skull Captain America fight was boring.
That was probably the most boring action scene.
A lot of the action wasn't that great because fucking 40% of it was a montage.
Yeah.
Like a commercial for Marvel. Like Disney was like, this is our first one. We're gonna make sure you know what Captain America's about.
They all have that commercial moment in them. I think it's definitely easier to see in the Avengers.
Yeah.
They have their poster moments, but this definitely was a commercial moment.
Yeah. And I think also his motivations were just like one-fold. Like it was just if you think about it, he did the war bond shit, right?
Yeah.
Then he tried to do it for the soldiers, and they were like, "Fuck you." That was a really funny scene. I thought that was funny. And then he's like, "Fuck, this is like stupid now. Like, what the hell am I doing in my life?" And Peggy Carter's like, "Come on, bitch. Like, we gave you everything you needed. Why don't you go out and be a soldier? You don't need anyone's permission." And then they start talking about what happened with Bucky, right? Or she's telling him about it, and then he asks to go get them, and Tommy Lee told him he was dead, that Bucky was dead, and that's when Cap sets off. Like he wasn't really sure if he was dead because he was like, I heard a name like that or something like that. The name sounds familiar. So he goes rogue and gets Bucky. Now, that whole scene was convenience after convenience. The fact that Hydra has all this technology, but they don't have... Actually, it's even worse. They show a surveillance camera there, and they don't see it all until he actually gets inside the fucking building that he went in there with a raggedy steel shield.
So this is 40-something. Hydra invented closed-circuit television with the Tesseract?
That's what they had, remember?
What?
When he saw him fighting on the camera, he was like, oh, this when he was like, yeah, our soldiers are outmatched.
Wow, so
it makes it even dumber.
Makes TV.
And it makes it even dumber because he just got through your whole base with highly powered technological weapons. And he beat you all at that. And I get the greatness of Cap, but it was very, very convenient how he got through there.
Think about the motorcycle scene where like they shoot the laser off of his back. Like she doesn't even use the shield. They just shoot him in the back and it bounces off. And then he puts it in the front and they happen to shoot the one part in the front.
Yeah. But didn't you think still it was pretty well directed?
The pace was great.
After
Steve
Rogers.
I didn't dislike the Steve Rogers because it was necessary. It was slower.
It felt like Jarhead. It's like I don't know.
I didn't expect Bucky to like, and it's funny because you see it in that movie that they've already started planning. Because when he goes to save Bucky, Bucky's becoming Winter Soldier. Like he finds him on the experimenting table. I just didn't at first see Sebastian Stan as being that important of an actor for the series, but man, has he grown on me.
And then if you think about it, right after he gets Bucky, all of a sudden he's like a general now because he did like one rescue mission.
Yeah, he can guard. What do they call them? The Howling Commandos.
Yeah, and then he gets their group together, and when shit starts getting very fun and interesting, they montage it. And then it goes to one scene where, like, it's kind of cool. He throws the shield, gets the guy out of the tree and whatnot. But that was okay. And then, like, they go on this whole thing, and then they try and get on the Hydra train. And then Bucky dies, or Bucky supposedly dies, and Cap's pissed off again. Then he has that whole, Peggy, like, let me see your tits, I can't get drunk thing.
Yeah, he can't get drunk.
And by the way, she is really sexy. She's like...
It's very...
I think their romance is one of the better ones because it's very subtle and it's not, like, cutesy, Like...
Yeah, and she is... Because she's a stronger character for a female character in Marvel.
Yeah.
You gotta think, like, Jane Foster in Thor is sort of an idiot. She's sort of... They play her off as, like, well, what do they call that? Like, the Valley Girl mentality. Where like... whatever she thinks or whatever's going on in her head isn't being portrayed, and she's just speaking out dumb stuff.
And in Peggy Carter, first scene, she punches a dude.
Yeah, she's down. Out. So, I mean, you can't be mad at that. So, yeah, there's definitely, in terms of characters, there's definitely areas that could be improved, and
But it was entertaining.
It was very entertaining.
And then when he finds out that Bucky dies, like, it is the same thing, right? Like, he tells how he can't get drunk, but then he's like, I'll kill motherfuckers now. Yeah. He never said that before. Now he's like, I'll kill and capture any Hydra agent to stop this shit.
Yeah.
And then he goes into a really cool scene where he beats the shit out of all these Hydra agents around trucks and whatnot, and they get into the actual fortress with Red Skull.
With his
he plans to get captured. Excuse me. He plans to get captured to get into Red Skull's fortress. And
it seems like, too, that every superhero so far now has had a band of merry men. Caps might be one of the coolest, better ones.
And people are dying. People are getting shot. There's actual, like, realism to what's going on.
Yeah, I like when they did the prison break scene that you have to actually see them die to get a weapon so they can start killing people.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
And then we have problems with the ending. I mean, I personally think that the Red Skull Cap fight was boring. I also think it doesn't make any... I think you touched on this when we were talking about this earlier, was that, he basically is Cap now. He can think way faster. He can think better. He's way stronger. He's way faster physically. And he can't freaking jump out of a ship before it crashes. To, like, save his life. He just wants to sacrifice himself. And I get the theme of the movie, but right after a cool-ass scene where he gets the warhead or the nuclear bomb and throws a dude in the propeller.
Yeah.
Or no, he doesn't throw him. The dude just falls, and Cap's like, all right. And dude just gets killed. Like, blood flies everywhere. It was a great scene.
That was a great scene.
Then you go to that. Like, that's the climax. Like, and I get it. It's Cap. Like, it has to be that. But
What I didn't get, too, is if the nuclear bombs that this dickhead was so much of a dick to make that they had to be flown by someone, why did Cap even have to crash the plane? Couldn't he have just flown it around for a while?
I think it was breaking down. I think it was crashing.
Well, okay.
He could only steer it enough to get it out the way.
So regardless, like, it's not gonna autopilot, because that was the big thing. It's like, oh well, it's gonna autopilot itself to New York, but okay, well the bombs have to be manned, so why?
Yeah.
Why does it matter? That part I didn't get.
So what did you think about his development as a character, like compared to like an Iron Man?
Well,
he's one-dimensional.
It's very one-dimensional, but not necessarily.
The war bonds, though.
No development. It's just like you said with the war bonds, they show that he's willing to learn and change what he needs to do. They show that he can become the actor or whatever, and then he does, like, because at first he's against guns. He even says that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, by the end, he's like just killing Nazis to do it, Hydra agents to do it.
So because he doesn't care. He lost his friend.
Yeah.
And I personally think the score was well done on this, too. It really captured Captain America. Like, you felt like you were watching a Captain America movie from the music. And it wasn't even that great. It wasn't even, like, that much. It just was enough.
Good.
It was patriotic. Yeah. So that's why I gave it a 7.4. So for me, that was number 6 on my list.
So, again, it was 7 on mine. So now
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 7.2.
Okay, so we weren't that far off on that one.
Yeah.
We felt the same way.